Well, tonight, the media fraternity reels in pain. We have lost one of our own, Rita Tinina. And at this point, as we say that may her soul rest in eternal peace and love, we certainly hope that the heavens that would give us the strength to go through this tough time, equally saying pole to family and friends. And of course, she, just had to sign her last at this very moment, receiving these news. Today afternoon, we'll be looking at stories of this and so much more right here on TV47 Weekend Edition. Karibu Sana. But equally, it's being to the point, we are also going to have a very important conversation as to how best we can tackle overweight and obesity. Whichever way, whichever angle, well, whatever it is that it takes, it's important that you are physically fit, because then that will help you not to have lots of other lifestyle diseases. And that's the reason why we'll be having that conversation this evening. I am delighted to have my guests on set already for that very conversation. And I'll be introducing them just briefly, or perhaps later, but just by name. I think we have... It's important that we mention that we have Mika Kibera, who's right here. We also have Dr. Amal Sata, who's at the center, and we have Dr. Lance Mayabi. And shortly, we'll also be having Annie Wamwiri joining us for that crucial conversation. Is it the angle of surgery, or is it the question of nutrition and just making sure that you work out and you eat well? It doesn't really matter what angle you take, but it's important that you take care of your weight. So we'll be looking at that conversation shortly. And these are the same people that are going to advise you on what would be best of a direction for you. We get to that conversation shortly, but first, the highlights.
Tonight, shock and disbelief as veteran journalist Rita Tinina signs out for the last time. And bandits in the North Rift attack a relief convoy rushing to aid banditry victims in the latest sign of insecurity in the troubled region.
So, and when we came, ijulikana ya kwamba hata mbele ya sisi kukuta na watu ya Red Cross barabara yote kuanzia huko Moinoni all the way to Yatta to here, we face some conscience. Yes.
Just a day before President William Ruto is expected to sign the affordable housing bill into law, the president is still calming the jitters that still abound.
Kesho mimi naenda kuweka sahihi sheria ya housing.
TV47 Weekend Edition begins right away, and it is that edition of To The Point where we get to the conversation later. But for now, it's important that we get to hear what is in the world of news. Our sign language interpreter is Rhoda Nyamai, and my name is Linda Alela. As always, we appreciate your feedback. The hashtag To The Point at Linda_Alela at TV47KE across all our socials. I'll be looking at some of your comments as we continue with the broadcast. Now, we start off with this rather unfortunate story that veteran TV journalist Rita Tinina has passed on. Tinina, who recently moved to NTV as an editor, was found dead in her house in Kileleshwa, Nairobi, Sunday afternoon. Tinina's colleagues revealed that she was set to be at work, but she did not show up and could not be reached on the phone, thus prompting a search into her whereabouts, leading to the discovery of her body in the house. The cause of the death remains unknown, with her body moved to Umash Funeral Home. Colleagues have eulogized the seasoned journalist as a trailblazer in the media world.
This is a dark Sunday for us, not just at NMG, but as a media fraternity, even just by virtue of all those who are here, to mourn our sister, Rita. It's very interesting that today she was meant to be on shift at NTV. She's one of the editors. It was her shift at work, but she didn't show up, and so after a couple of calls we got the unfortunate news that she'd passed on.
Rita has been my producer for the 1 o'clock bulletin on Sundays for the past about 5 Sundays. Today I didn't know that I'll go on air and she wouldn't be there to produce this bulletin. But aside from the beautiful last moments we had with her during our lunch session and my colleague Duncan Haemba, I'd like to say that we've lost a trailblazer. I remember when I was young, I'd look up to Rita Tinina as a female Maasai journalist, and that meant a lot, especially with the retrogressive cultures around our community. And I, as much as I'm shocked, I also just want to celebrate her life.
Rita was who she was, very laid back, a person of very few words, but very friendly. So, yeah, it is a big blow, but just to confirm, on Thursday, before she knocked off, she was in the office because she was the one in charge of the evening bulletin. And today when my colleague, coincidentally, who was going on air, called me and told me that they can't reach her, we need to find out. It was very difficult to try and start making those calls to look for her. And sadly, I wanted to get in touch with the sister, I couldn't. But my third call just confirmed the sad news.
We have lost. And we have lost. I'll just say it's really sad that she had to go without goodbyes. I met her about a week ago and we were in traffic. And I used to call her Tinina. Then I just said, Tinina, how are you? And she lowered her car window and said hi to me and drove off. So that was Rita. I'll just say that God rest her peace. We have lost a good person.
Well, may Rita's soul rest in love. Now, in the latest sign of the tough security situation that is in the North Rift region, bandits shot at the convoy of Baringo North Member of Parliament Joseph Makilap, Baringo County Women Representative Florence Jematia, and Red Cross officials along Yatta Chimoy Road yesterday. The leaders who are distributing food to insecurity victims in Yatta Chimoy and Chepkesin areas of Saim Osoi and Batarbu wards were shot at, as they were actually approaching Chimoy from Yatta. The MPs were forced to call for reinforcement from nearby police camps before proceeding to Chepkesin. And of course, while addressing the media after the incident, Makilap said that the government needs to stop the banditry in the region, adding that more than about 10,000 people have fled their homes after a series of attacks. Florence Jematia said that the locals have become helpless after government failed to assure them their security.
So, and when we came, ijulikana ya kwamba hata mbele ya sisi kukuta na watu ya Red Cross barabara yote kuanzia huko Moinoni all the way to Yatta to here, we face some conscience. Yes. Na ni partners ambaye hata ni watu hawajawahi kuona bunduki siku nyingine, hata tukaona bandits kwa njia. Na wengine tulipitia marisasi tukikucha hapa. So kuambia serikali tukase nati, nataka nishukuru Kindiki ameng'ang'ana ametuletea chishu hapa, lakini hapa shule hii inahitaji pia tuongeze kambi ingine ya chishu waendelee ufanye hiyo operation vizuri sana.
It is so hard to be in a government that you want to defend while your people are actually suffering in the same government. Sometimes we become so helpless, which also put our people or the residents of these areas, which are actually affected by the insecurity, to be at a very crossroad, and they are not able to move because you are in a government that you think they were going to help you, or you are going to, have this problem solved, but it is actually becoming a bigger problem for these people to survive in their own government. Your Excellency the President, I want you to take time. It is not easy, yes, but I want you to take time and understand that the bandits are gaining more resolve and strength every day.
Now, security officers in Wiki Kasarani constituency in Nairobi have launched investigations into the cause of the death of one person who died after allegedly taking illicit brew. The middle-aged man was in the company of another man who, while surviving the ordeal, suffered immensely and was rushed to hospital, with residents blaming police for sleeping on the job. This comes as the government intensifies its fight against illicit brew across the country, as Micah Gungu tells us.
The government's efforts in fighting consumption of illicit brew, led by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, facing stiff opposition from some traders who are selling it openly in clear defiance of the national directive. In Mweki, Kasarani, Nairobi County, a family here is in mourning after one of their own came back home last night while drunk before breathing his last. According to an eyewitness, the man arrived home in a very drunk state, drunk enough to need assistance to gain entry into his house. Few minutes later, his friend arrived, equally under the influence but showing signs of some distress due to effects of the alcohol. He too needed to be assisted into his house.
So huyu kasaidia nikavuruta nikaweka kwa nyumba. Kampea kasukari tena. Nikarudi kule kwa nje ule bado hajajisikia. Nikaachana naye nikajua huyo sasa tugoje galau niite polisi wakuje. Huyo sasa ni kama ameenda.
In the morning, both men were discovered, one dead and another barely alive. Police removed the body of one while the second man was taken to hospital.
Hao watu wanatuuzia hizi pombe zinakuja hapa, hata hakuna Mkenya mwenye anapika hiyo pombe. Gachagua, sikia hii maneno. Mimi nikifungua pombe yangu hapa hata nipika maratina. Siku ya leo nitalala jela. Huyo mkuli ametoka kule amekuja amepika changa hapa. Watu wamekunywa wamekufa.
Area residents now blame police for taking bribes and abetting the illicit alcohol business, urging the government to crack its whip.
Askari akikuja pale anapewa kamia, ndio huyo ameenda. Wewe akipatana na yeye zako anakuhangaisha, lakini kwa pombe anawaachia wanakunywa juu ya 100. Sasa hiyo moyo imepotea juu ya 100.
Meanwhile, over 60 people have been arrested for selling illicit alcohol as 146 alcohol dens were shut down in Turkana County. Turkana County Commissioner Julius Kavita said the suspects will be charged in court.
And case now pending before court are 9. Alongside that one, the order was also we close chemist and Ancrofex.
Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, President William Ruto is expected to sign the Affordable Housing Bill into law Monday. The president, who was speaking during an interdenominational Thanksgiving service, that is for tourism PS John Ololtua, highlighted that affordable housing project will provide employment opportunities to thousands of unemployed Kenyan youth. The Kenya Kwanza lawmakers who flanked Ruto during the Narok tour lauded the housing levy, saying that it is new dawn for Kenya's parliament on Thursday passed the legislation that will anchor the affordable housing program, with pro-government lawmakers reloaded. And of course, the bill, despite protests from the opposition MPs, the Azimio lawmakers termed the legislation illegal and unconstitutional.
Kesho, wewe uko na date na destiny ya taifa letu la Kenya. Hii sheria ambayo tumekuwa tukizungumzia na bunge sasa tulipitisha ya maneno ya affordable housing, kuhakikisha kwamba kila Mkenya anaishi kwa nyumba mzuri na vijana wanapata kazi, na kuhakikisha kwamba shamba zetu kama hapa Kilgoris haikatakatwi ili watu wakijenga manyumba, watu wanaishi pale pamoja, shamba inabakia ikikuwa kubwa, watu wafanyie kilimo. Kesho huyu rais wetu anatia kidole sheria hiyo. Hiyo ndio economic justice ile ambayo tulikuwa tunazungumzia.
Na ndio sababu kesho mimi naenda kuweka sahihi sheria ya housing. Kwa sababu hiyo housing tayari kuna vijana 1130 wanafanya kazi kwa program ya housing. Mpango yangu ni kwamba kufikia next year tutakuwa na vijana 1300 wanaofanya kazi katika program ya housing. Hapa Kilgoris program ya housing imeanza. Hapa Narok phase 1 tunataka kujenga nyumba 5000 na tunahitaji vijana 10,000 wa kufanya hiyo kazi.
Now, it is a sigh of relief for 3 hard-pressed schools that raise children with physical challenges in Bumula constituency, Bungoma County, after receiving much-needed equipment and financial donations. while distributing mattresses, wheelchairs and other necessities at Kimwanga Primary School, that is for the deaf children, Libolina Primary School for disabled children, and Joy Valley Special School. Former Bumula Member of Parliament, Mwambu Mabonga, reveals that the students have been sleeping on the floor for a while, among other challenges. Mabonga, who is the chairperson of non-governmental organizations in the country, has said that he is trying to ensure that such challenges in the country are weeded out in order to ensure that the kids have as equal an upbringing as others.
Chairs, so and even some foodstuffs, so there's training, because yes, the government may be trying, but the challenges are there. The resources and facilities are never sufficient. So from there, I engaged our good friends from the Lions Club Eldoret. I invited the president of Lions Club, yeye pia akatembea kwa hizo shule na kupitia kwa friendship engagement tukatafuta some mattresses, wheelchairs, some foodstuffs, blankets, bed sheets. Tunataka kupea hao wanafunzi siku ya leo.
Umetukumbuka hakika, hao watoto wanateseka. Wheelchair in most cases umetusave sana, kwa sababu wengi wao wana crawl chini, na msaada huu wako, what we can do now is just to pray for you.
Actually, mheshimiwa, ulikuja kwetu and you actually saw what is in the ground, and it touched our hearts, because we see you have the child in your heart. We want also to appreciate, because it is through you that we got to get these things through from the Lions Club Eldoret. We want to appreciate even the president Lions Club, because you introduced him to us and he has really given us good things.
The business of dates flourishes, especially during the holy month of Ramadan. Although this year the fruit has been reported to be excessively expensive compared to other seasons, customers have faced difficulty in purchasing the fruit due to various reasons, as Paul Muniu explains.
Dates are a sweet fruit most popular among Muslims during the fasting period of Ramadan, where they are often the first step in breaking the day-long fast. Many sample the sweet treat to regain strength after a long period of fasting. Furthermore, dates have other benefits for the body. They replenish the body's energy levels very swiftly, while providing rich antioxidants, boosting gut health, boosting skin health, boosting brain health, helping natural birth and other benefits. Mohammed Yusuf, a date merchant at the Marikiti market in Mombasa, is happy that his business has flourished during this period, although they are getting dates at higher price compared to earlier days.
Wakati huo wa nyuma na sahi ni tofauti tena sana. Sababu sahi time ya kununua tende, hiyo bei yake sahi iko juu. Tumepandishwa tende maradufu yani. Ilikuwa tukinunua tende huo wakati wa nyuma kwa mkebe ule wa kilo 20 ambao ni number 1, ilikuwa tukinunua tu kwa 3,100 kama 2,800, lakini sasa hii tunanunua paka sasa hii imfikia 5,500.
Currently, 1 kilogram of dates is sold for 600 Kenyan shillings, depending on the type of dates, a situation that has led their customers to complain about its high cost.
Customer pia ukimwelezea kumwambia kilo ni 400, akushangaa kuambia mbona zimpanda wakati ule ulikuwa hivi na huu ulikuwa hivi. Ndio tuambia maisha ndivyo yanavyosonga na ndio mambo nayo yanavyopanda. Tunaomba kama itawezekana mtushushie kiasi,
na kulingana biashara inavyoenda si mbaya vile, lakini ile tunapata kipato ambapo pia kidogo kinafurahisha.
Dates have been highly valued since ancient times, with their origin being the nation of Iraq. Its trees, known as date palms, grow up to about 23 meters in height.
Hapa kuna Al-Nasiri, kuna Al-Fatma, Ziko nyinginezo ambazo kila kuna quality tofauti na tofauti. Kuna first quality na second quality. Ile hali watu wanapenda first quality sana kwa sababu kuongeza damu haraka sana.
The fruit is extensively cultivated in North Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia in many tropical and warm regions worldwide. However, the import and purchase of dates from the Asian continent have been disrupted due to the decrease in water levels in the Suez Canal, a situation that has led many ships to divert through the south of Africa to avoid the canal, thus taking more time and distance, thereby increasing the price of dates. Paul Munio, TV47, Mombasa.
Well, thank you, Paul, for that. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua read the Riot Act to Rift Valley leaders, asking them to stop the incessant wrangling and focus on a service delivery to the people. This is after the leaders of Kericho and Bomet publicly fought for supremacy, and that is in the presence of the head of state. Speaking on Sunday during a church service at Kapsabet AIC, where he witnessed the installation of Bishop Moses Serem and Assistant Bishop James Mosonik, Gachagua stated that to stop similar happenings in the future, he will summon the leaders to a meeting to thrash out their issues and find solutions.
Mtu yeyote atakosea rais wangu heshima, tutakosana. Awe governor, awe senator, awe MP, anybody from this region and our backyard, pahali si tulipigiwa kura 100%, we want total respect for President William Ruto. Na mikutano yake hawezi kuwa vile niliona jana.
They have even their own committee. And we have experienced a tremendous cordial relationship and development because of that closeness and fellowshipping together. At the same time, Your Excellency, even the political leadership, right from MCA to the governor, we've seen them working together, we've seen them sharing, we've seen them, planning all the developmental agendas of this county.
I want to confirm to you that we are working as county governments together with national governments on the many development agenda. Any part that needs to be played by county government.
All right, the National Assembly Minority Leader Opiyo Wandayi has faulted the government over what he termed as the skewed manner in which it is distributing the subsidized fertilizer as farmers are preparing their farms for long seasons or long rain seasons. And speaking at ACK Madungu Church in Ugunja, that is Wandayi noted that he called lethargy, seen as the National Cereals and Produce Board depots across the western Kenya, that is as farmers observing that farmers are not able to access the subsidized fertilizers effectively in the country. He has also called upon the government to supply the subsidized fertilizers efficiently, or of course it is important that they also consider the aspect of time.
The first issue is obviously about the matter of subsidized fertilizer distribution. As you all know, the long rains are here with us, and farmers are preparing to plant during this long rain season. What is baffling is that the subsidized fertilizer that the government keeps on talking about is either not there in adequate quantities, or where it is there, there are no officers to serve farmers on time. A case in point is the NCPB depot at Ambira, which has got some stocks of this fertilizer. But farmers have to go and stay the whole day from morning to evening, many times, without being served on account of the fact that the officer who is supposed